Closed captioning for the Casey Malone Show is sponsored by Hunter Stevens Land Title Agency. Integrity, service, and commitment you can trust.
Oh yeah, Casey Malone is serving up local. It's time for the stories of our region, the tastes, the sights, the sounds, and the people in and around the valley. Get ready for some local flavor on the Casey Malone Show.
Well, I'm here with Joan Smith, and she is the chair, of the Homes Tour, and this benefits the Poland Historical Society. That's coming up on the 21st.
Correct. 2 years ago, it was very successful. We did all 19th century homes. We had 6 homes. This year, we have 7 homes, and plus the Little Red Schoolhouse is always open too during the tour.
When you approach people, is it hard to find people? Because I don't know if I'd really want people, traipsing through the house.
Right. Casey, it's surprisingly easy to get people. It really is. 2 years ago, I was shocked at how easy it was. Coming off COVID, I think people were ready for
some
something.
Interaction
right,
with people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just to be able to get out and do something like this. Like Lori, the home that we're in, they were most gracious and said, of course, we would be glad to be on. So we've been very fortunate. I've had maybe 2 refusals from last year and this year. So I think that's a pretty good record.
No, that is pretty good. Being a member, what have you learned about Poland and its history?
Well, my husband is sort of one of the village historians, so he could give you any information you want. But I think for me, the charm of this village, I love seeing the old homes. I love seeing the care that is taken with the old homes, the importance of the history, and I think Poland tries very hard to maintain their history, which is wonderful, I think.
I think this is going to go extremely well.
I think so too, and we're looking forward to it. We have 7 beautiful homes, and this year, the Inn at the Green, which has been closed for a number of years. Nobody was living in it. It does have a new owner, and it's under renovation, so it will be open. And
it's going to return to a bed and breakfast?
It's going to return to a bed and breakfast, and Poland has been waiting a long time to see the Inn at the Green restored back to its original beauty. So I think that too will be a big draw in addition to the other 6 homes.
And now tickets are available. They're not available online. So if you want to get them, you go to
Abishers or Consign and Design, $20 cash or check, and they will be available on the 21st, the day of the tour, at Village Hall. We will be selling tickets.
Okay, but once they're gone, they're gone.
Once they're gone, and last year, 2 years ago, we ran out of tickets. Okay. And we ended up selling our flyers that we had given out as tickets. We sold 150 of those because we needed them and we were out of tickets.
People love that.
They love it.
Looking at homes.
So don't wait to buy your tickets.
Well, this is Lori LaPlante, and we are in her gorgeous kitchen, and she is one of the homes that you can visit on the tour. And that's really generous of you to do this. Why are you opening up your house for tours? Because it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
People are going to really love this.
I hope so. It's funny when you live in a place, you don't realize how unique and wonderful it is until other people come in and they see it and start noticing all the things that you kind of have gotten used to over the years.
Right. This house was built when?
1840.
1840.
Yeah.
Now, of course, there's been a lot of renovations, and you've modernized some of it.
Yeah.
What have you discovered in this house?
One of the most unique things that we were told, and I'm assuming it's true, and it was during the last home tour that we did back in 2002, and I had somebody tell me that there's a little water fountain that used to be, we were told it was the first running water in Poland. There's a big cistern up in the attic that gathered the water, and there's kind of the pressure brought the water down. And we were told that they allowed the Civil War soldiers to come in through the door in that room and fill up their canteens in that little
On that
water
little fountain.
Yeah. So we've kept it. It's been kept through all the
It
renovations.
doesn't work
It
now.
doesn't work anymore.
You got rid of the cistern
Yeah.
in the, because I don't think that's a good place to hold water, right? On the
Yeah,
second
right,
floor.
right, yeah.
What areas are we gonna be able to tour in this house?
Actually, everything. We're going to be able to, the whole downstairs, and then there are 2 stairways up. So we'll have people come up one stairway and kind of come down the hallway, and you can see all the bedrooms. And there's a little loft area that looks over into the dining area, and then come down the back stairway and then come back in through here. So
How do you prepare for that?
get the kids out of the house. Lots of cleaning. We have a
And the
checklist
dog,
of
what do you do with the
things.
dog?
Yeah.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah,
But
it's kind of tricky.
what is the most interesting is that Lori is also a baker. It is Gray Barn
Baking.
Baking.
Mm-hmm.
And you started this business when?
About 15 years ago. Yeah, my kids were all in school, and I always loved to bake. I'm an engineer by trade, and that's what my...
Well, that kind of goes in.
Yeah.
because baking is an exact
it
science.
is, very much
right?
so, yeah. And I wasn't doing that anymore, and I enjoyed baking, and so decided to start.
I'm going to eat this at the very end of the thing. And are there going to be a lot of treats for the people that come through your house?
Yeah, that's
Are
a
we
good
gonna,
question. I
You
don't
know, have
know.
little cutout cookies or, you know, we got to sweeten the pot to make sure they come and visit.
I don't know if I got enough, if I can get enough prepared for that day. But
Yeah,
I
there's
might
going to
have
be a lot.
Yeah.
I think this is really great that you have opened up your home because people love
Yeah.
to look at what others are doing in their home
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and get ideas from it. And of course, all these old homes.
Yeah, you don't
know,
see them.
And you know, the love and the restoration that you and all the others have done for these old homes. I mean, 1840, come on.
Yeah.
People want to look in and see
Yeah.
that you're not living like it's still 1840,
know,
right?
right?
How
Yeah.
do they live there? No, I think this will be fun. I do. Can I eat my cupcake now?
Oh, you can.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You've got to come on this tour, though. Just done. And you got to try her bakery. I'll tell you if it's any good. Delicious.
Thank you.
This is the Casey Malone Show. Hi, I'm Robbie Fellman.
And I'm John Stanko from Boardman Subaru.
Subaru is the best-selling all-wheel drive brand in America for the last 10 years.
And rated #1 in safety for 4 years in a row.
Come and see the legendary Subaru Forester, all new and fully redesigned for 2025.
Or check out the 7-passenger Subaru Ascent, a top-ranked 3-row SUV according to Motor Trend.
Award-winning vehicles and award-winning service.
Only at Boardman Subaru, just south of Route 224 on South Avenue.
Given is living.
I'm Elizabeth Bernard. For more than 30 years, I've provided our Valley with sound legal advice. My associate Jennifer Rigetti and I will be your legal representatives if you're involved in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident. Don't try to handle it yourself. We'll navigate the red tape of dealing with doctors, medical insurance, and all the obstacles that you'll face. Remember, there are no upfront fees on personal injury cases, and hiring a lawyer does not mean you have to go to court.
Call attorney Elizabeth Bernard, local legal experience for more than 30 years.
Shop C-Max Northside Appliance in Struthers, the local appliance store that beats big box prices every day.
3 generations serving Youngstown, Ohio, soon to be our 4th.
Well, since it's watermelon season, I am going to take advantage of the bounty. And it really is hard to find a good watermelon. You can't see the inside of it. It's like an avocado or a cantaloupe. And you're really not sure what makes a good watermelon. So the old wives' tale, what I follow, is at the bottom of the watermelon, I look for a deep yellow or orange patch where it would have been in the field. And then that shows that it had a lot of time there to ripen. And then you make sure it's really solid. And most of the time, I get a beautiful, red, sweet watermelon when I look for those markings. So that's my tip for today. But today I'm going to make a really easy fresh salad, no cooking involved. It is going to be a watermelon cucumber salad. And then I'm going to make watermelon frosé. That's right, everybody's talking about the frozen rosé, but I use frozen watermelon chunks. So we're gonna have a salad and a cocktail with watermelon. For this recipe, you'll need 3 cups of watermelon chunks, 1/2 red onion, thinly sliced, then halved, 1/2 English cucumber, peeled, sliced, then halved, juice from 1 lime, zest from 1 lime, 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil, 1/4 cup feta cheese crumbled, 1/4 cup fresh mint leaves chopped, and 1/4 cup sunflower seeds. Salt and pepper to taste. Well, this salad takes more time to chop than it does to assemble. I mean, it's super easy. So look at this beautiful, gorgeous watermelon. And I like to platter the salads because then you get everything that you're putting on it. So, and I put them like in longer strips or chunks, whatever you want to do, 1 or 2 inches. So here we go. This is a seedless watermelon, but there's still those little white seeds. I don't know if they're ever truly seedless. So then we put our first layer. Second layer will be our cucumbers. And I don't know why, but I think cucumbers work really well with watermelon. Just because they pick up the taste and they don't have that much flavor, right? So then we go like this. Look how pretty. This is a really easy salad. This is enough for about 3 or 4 people. And of course, quadruple, double it, whatever you need if you got a bigger crowd. Now I put the red onion, which I like because it has a little bit of bite and it counteracts the sweetness of the watermelon, and I just really like red onion. And try to do it as thin as possible without, you know, cutting your fingers off. And then, so isn't that pretty? Look at that, all the pretty colors. Next, we are going to do the mint, which I love. I grow mint. And remember, if you want to grow mint, do it in a container because I did it in the ground and it is crazy out there. It goes everywhere. It spreads like nuts. I can't get rid of it. Then we've got the salt from the feta. Oh, you're going to love this salad. It's beautiful. All right, so then we crumble that, put that evenly over. Then sunflower seeds. Mine are not salted, but you could buy the salted, but I think there's enough salt in this because you've got to have crunch in the salad. And last but not least, we are going to do the dressing. Olive oil. We're going to add the lemon juice. And every dressing needs salt. So I'm going to do a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. And remember, if they think it needs more salt once they're eating it, then pass it at the table. And then I'm just gonna whisk it, emulsify it. That looks pretty good. And then we drizzle this all over our beautiful salad. But wait, there's more. Now I have the zest from the lime, and that is the added bonus flavor, and it does make a huge difference. And there you have it. How easy was this salad? Frosé is everywhere. Everyone talks about these frosés, right? Frozen rosé wine. Some people add strawberries. You can add a lot of different things to it, but it really is a hot summer drink. So I made up my own little concoction here. So get your regular old ice cube trays, right? 2 of them are about a full bottle of wine. So this is a Flor de Mer. This is a really nice French rosé, reasonably priced. So get a bottle of rosé dry and fill up 2 ice cube trays and then stick them in the freezer. But remember, it doesn't really freeze because of the alcohol content. So when you get the little ice cube out, it's slushy. See, I'll pick it up for you. It's more slushy than it is really solid. So it's nice because it will slush in the blender. And you cube the watermelon. Now remember, watermelon's all water. So it really freezes hard. So I cubed this overnight, and then we have the rest of the ingredients. For this recipe, you'll need 1 bottle of dry rosé wine, 2 to 3 cups of cubed seedless watermelon, 2 ounces of fresh squeezed lime juice, 1 ounce of vodka, and 1 ounce of agave nectar. Now this recipe is for 1 batch. So all of these ingredients are for 1 ice cube tray of wine. but you're probably gonna have 2 if you do the whole thing. So you'll have to repeat for the next group of drinks. So first we're going to have our blender, and I'm going to put in the slushy rosé wine, okay? Then I'm going to add the frozen watermelon chunks. Okay, there we go. And then the lime juice, which is very necessary, I think. Then one ounce of vodka. Make sure you always measure, and then, and ours was in the freezer too, so there you go. And then it says an ounce, but you need a little bit of sweetness. And you know how I really don't like simple syrup. I think the agave nectar is a better choice. So we'll just give that a little squeeze to counteract the lime juice. Now, we are gonna start pulsing this. There we go. And then you just pour it right in. Look at that. Isn't that great? Now think about this on a steamy, hot summer day. Summer night, by the pool. Could this be any easier? Look at this. It is delicious, easy. You can leave it outdoors for a while because there's no mayonnaise in it, no dairy. Well, except for the feta. But, I mean, this is really a great, flavorful salad. I like when it sits a little bit. And how about this then, huh? The watermelon frisee. It is absolutely delicious. Recipes are easy. Go to my website, CaseyMaloneShow.com. And it's new and improved. So people that have been complaining about finding the recipes, well, go and check it out and get both of these recipes. You are going to love them. Cheers. The Casey Malone Show will be right back with more local flavor. Locally sourced is good, whether it's ingredients or a bank. And that's why my bank is Farmers National Bank. Since 1887, Farmers has remained rock solid through every economic condition. Having a bank with a history of safety, soundness, and conservative management is a must. It all boils down to this. You need a bank that will help you reach your goals. I do too, and Farmers is mine. Farmers National Bank, rock solid.
This is GABA Camp, an all-inclusive resort campground for our friends with disabilities. We're not done. Let's help our friends with disabilities. We need additional cabins and a lodge. Donate now, GABACamp.com. Giving is living.
Todd, what brings you in today?
It's time to propose. All of our friends are getting married. She wants to get married. I love her more than anything in the world, and I can't live without her.
Well, you've come to the right place. We have the biggest selection, the best brands, and the most competitive pricing in the area.
And what about like a used discount?
Get real, get Kamara.
Locally owned, Hurricane Health and Wellness will help you weather the storm of your weight loss struggles. Safe and discreet, our experienced telemed team will prescribe the proper weight loss medication. Powerful weight loss solutions. Hurricane Health and Wellness. Justin Rogers is the Director of Planning and Operations for the Mill Creek Metro Parks. And he is joining me now at the Ford Nature Center, which has been newly renovated. Right. And we are down here in the exhibit room. As a resident of the city of Youngstown my entire life, this is one of those places that you just take for granted. You know, I've always known about the park, but this brings it to another level.
The Ford Nature Center is created core memories for a lot of the visitors.
Right.
Since we opened in this location in 1972. And it's important. It's a staple of the city of Youngstown, Mill Creek Park, the Idora neighborhood. So we really wanted to, breathe some new life into it with new exhibits, new displays, new interactive opportunities, and bring in a whole new user group and generations to appreciate what we do have here.
It is really modernized, even though it is such a historic building.
Correct.
So who was the first family that actually built and resided in this home?
So the home was built for Charles S. Robinson. And at the time, he was vice president for Youngstown Sheet and Tube and served as a commissioner for what was then the Youngstown Township Park District, Mill Creek Park. And that was in 1913. And the structure was designed by Charles Owsley, who was a prominent local architect that has a lot of buildings downtown as well. So the Robinson family owned the house and the residence through 1954 when the Judge John Ford family purchased the house. And then in 1968, the family of Judge Ford donated the house and 12 acres adjacent to Mill Creek Park to Mill Creek Park.
How many acres are there right now in Mill Creek Metro Park?
So Mill Creek Metro Parks is an organization serving the entirety of Mahoning County. Is just over 5,000. 2 years ago, we got over 5,000 acres with our recent acquisitions. Mill Creek Park is about 2,600 with 1,600 of those acres north of 224, the developed park area.
As you were planning this renovation, because it took 3 years, what was your goals? Because there's a lot going on inside this home.
Sure.
And then on the outside, what did you really want to accomplish?
There was a multifaceted approach. So you touched upon, the history of the building and the site. We wanted to preserve that. The balance of the preservation on the exterior and the interior. You come in, it was still a residence.
Yes.
But now we've made it more functional. Accessibility was a huge goal of ours, not just in the physical sense of bringing different able-bodied people to in here, but serving different groups, being inclusive with what we're offering, giving all ages opportunity to experience nature in some capacity, and tying that all together. We want Ford to be kind of the starting place, that hub for nature education.
Right.
We want people to come in and say, hey, learn a little bit about this, a little bit about that, but pique their interest, and then send them out into Mill Creek Park, into nature to go observe things firsthand for themselves.
These are all wildflowers, and these are all from our region.
Correct. So we have 27 different native grasses or forbs, wildflowers, that we utilized in this.
And then this is all a new addition where we
Correct.
are.
So to preserve the look of the building, we didn't really want to add or change the frontage. So our solution was to build below and out the back of the building. So we actually had to dig down probably about 4 feet and then out the back to add this new feature, to add that public square footage. We have a new enclosed bird observation.
That is a very
room,
cool room.
where you have access to eBird and to find a lot of information about birds. Judge Ford's wife started bird clubs and having people over. So one of the displays in the history room is actually journals of birds that were identified here decades ago.
And then I really like the rooftop garden that is above us.
So a lot of those species, they're primarily sedum and allium. They don't require a lot of water, and the installation was great. We used trays that have more of a rocky substrate, and we put them in. We'll fertilize it earlier in the year, later in the year, but as you can see, the display is just sensational right now.
It really looks amazing from the back, because then there is a all-access path.
Correct.
That everyone can take.
Right. The Virginia Axman Trail for All Peoples was constructed in the 80s, but like a lot of things, it lost a little bit of focus and attention. So that was definitely an integral part of this project, to resurface, open up some new vistas. We're going to continually be incorporating native trees and shrubs throughout. So again, what you see in the displays, you can walk out and see firsthand in nature.
And then tell me about the garage, the carriage house, or I guess it was a carriage house originally, right?
Correct. So that was another solution to add publicly accessible space to the Nature Center. We've designated our education building. It used to be 3 floors. We took out the top, so we have, a floor-to-ceiling display, classroom. We have our taxidermy in the top, and then below we.
I noticed that when I was looking around. What were the biggest challenges?
We were renovating a century-plus-year-old home. That yes, it served in a public capacity, but not much had been modernized. So, a lot of the work the general public won't see is bringing utilities up to standards, bringing in adequate internet service, things of that nature. When we dug down in the basement, we came upon a sandstone formation, but we took that challenge as an opportunity, and now it's one of our most prominent exhibits. We have a 300 million year old sandstone outcropping in the basement.
So cool.
Yeah.
And then you worked around it.
We did.
Because you couldn't move it.
No, it would have cost a lot.
That is very, very interesting. Yeah. And do you find, because I know I do this, that I just take this park for granted, and when you get your visitors, where are they mainly from? Are they locals, or are you getting a lot of out-of-towners?
We get everything, and I think it's the people that had been here maybe as a fourth grader walking through, and they had that core memory, so they knew what it looked like, they knew how it functioned. They're coming back maybe with their kids.
You can't imagine that this is all right around us, free of charge.
Right, and whether it's Ford or Fellows Riverside Gardens or the Metro Parks Farm, it's really the tip of the iceberg as to what the Metro Parks offers. So, our focus here is nature education. One of the objectives was bringing together all of our educators so they can work out of this space and really promote what we do have. So whether people are local and appreciate the park, don't know exactly what we have to offer,
come on,
or you're a visitor, this is a great place to start.
The Casey Malone Show is sponsored in part by Denise and John York and the DeBartolo Corporation.